WWE is making major changes for Raw on Netflix and SmackDown on USA Network. We're going to talk about those changes today. Also, major plans for a returning WWE star and TNA Sportsnet 360 debut news. All right, guys, so I want to kick things off with TNA. By now, you guys all know that TNA has landed a new TV deal in Canada. They are taking over WWE's previous TV deal, which was with Sportsnet 360. There's obviously a lot of talk about TNA because of this new TV deal. There's a lot of really good things being said behind the scenes about this deal, especially for TNA now having probably the best TV deal that you can out of, WWE and AEW in Canada. And so obviously a lot of people are wondering what this means for TNA and their TV deal in America. Carlos Silva recently posted online some excitement about Sportsnet 360, and he's also teasing some major news for fans in America. So it sounds like TNA is either getting very, very close to announcing a TV deal, or, something is going to happen relatively soon, because this news that they're teasing seems to be a good one. We know that TNA is going to make an effort to go live for TNA Impact. And obviously we've known for a while, for at least over a year now, that they were looking at increasing their production and getting that TV deal. So it seems like we are getting closer and closer. And obviously this is great news, right? If you're a fan in Canada, you pretty much have an amazing TV deal for TNA. And if you're a fan in America, you're probably getting more excited about this potential new TV deal expected to be announced relatively soon. So if TNA announces a TV deal in America that puts them in more homes, I mean, that's just outright incredible. Like, that's exactly what they need. They need to have a better TV deal. And it's actually really telling when you see Access TV, which is owned by Anthem. It's interesting because a lot of people may not know this next part, but New Japan Pro Wrestling is no longer on Access TV for 2025. So their contract ended. Access TV didn't do anything moving forward with New Japan. I'm having a very strong feeling that Access TV as a channel is going to make multiple changes. And with TNA getting its own US TV deal, I think that's when we'll see those changes to Access TV, which I think would be a good thing. I think for Anthem, getting their wrestling properties broadcasted on a better channel just makes the most sense. And then whatever kind of content you want to produce or publish on Access TV, that could be your commitment on those TV channels. I'm excited, though. I think a new TV deal for TNA is great. I am curious to see what happens with New Japan Pro Wrestling, because they were on Access TV for several years, but we'll have to wait and see what this new direction is. All right, guys, it's time to talk about it. Becky Lynch is returning to the company. We all know that. We know that she re-signed with the company. We know that she's being advertised for the company. We know that she was taking place in the media stuff for Netflix. This is really exciting to me for a variety of reasons. WWE has some massive plans for her. Sources confirm with WrestleVotes that Becky Lynch's impending return will factor heavily into high-level WrestleMania plans as the road to Las Vegas begins. I think that is very clear that Raw on Netflix will be when Becky Lynch returns. Now, the real question is, what will WWE do with Becky Lynch? Okay, me predicting this based on how WWE already does WWE things, I would say Becky Lynch is going to return after Liv Morgan or Rhea Ripley, right? I think that would be the case. What also really intrigues me about that idea, and this is just my opinion, I'm not really a big fan of Becky Lynch as a babyface. If I'm being quite honest, I think Becky Lynch is actually much more suited for a heel role. So I can see her coming out, getting that babyface pop, whether it's Rhea or Liv who walk out with the title. I think Becky coming out, getting that massive pop only for her to turn heel could make a lot of sense based on the way WWE does things. However, what I really want to say is I want WWE to do something incredibly different here. Incredibly different. If you are setting the standard that there is going to be some high-level WrestleMania plans, shock us, surprise everyone. And I know this is going to be really crazy, but I've been saying for a while, I would love to see Becky Lynch somehow tie into the Seth Rollins CM Punk beef. maybe there's an opportunity there for Becky Lynch to return to WWE and maybe even call out AJ Lee, which would then cause AJ Lee to return to the ring, which she hasn't done in over 10 years. I think that would be massive. I think if you really want to talk about high-level WrestleMania plans, you get AJ Lee back and you have Becky Lynch, who's a heel, and AJ Lee as a babyface. I think there's a lot that could be done there. I think if you tie it into CM Punk and Seth Rollins as well, there's a lot of things that you can do. So whether it's a mixed tag team match, a singles match, I mean, I think there's just so many opportunities there. But really, when I hear of them planning high-level WrestleMania plans, we've already seen Becky go after the title so many times. What could be bigger than that? And the only thing I could think of at this time would be AJ Lee returning. And that's the unfortunate part. No matter what, though, I think Becky should be a heel. So hopefully that's part of the plans. We'll obviously see what happens. I genuinely don't know what to expect here, but it is a wait and see. Speaking of waiting and seeing, we don't have to wait and see anymore. WWE is making major changes to Raw and USA Network moving forward. Okay, so Raw's on Netflix, SmackDown's on USA. Basically, for those who don't know, WWE is changing out the commentators and the ring announcers. So WWE, according to PWInsider.com, is reporting that Lillian Garcia is expected to be the ring announcer for Friday Night SmackDown. And Alicia Taylor from SmackDown will be shifted to Raw full-time. She'll be doing the ring announcing on Raw. Lillian Garcia will be doing the ring announcing on Friday for SmackDown. With that being said, Joe Tessitore is leaving Raw and is expected to be moving to SmackDown with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee taking over commentary duties for Monday Night Raw. However, what's really interesting is we don't even have confirmation if Wade Barrett will still be commentating with Joe Tessitore on SmackDown. I know this isn't going to be a popular opinion, but I think Joe Tessitore should be on Raw on Netflix. I think he's done a really stellar job. I really, really enjoy his work. I would love to see him on Raw on Netflix, and obviously we'll see what happens. What's also really interesting is we do know Joe Tessitore will be involved in some aspect on Raw on Netflix. So some people think it might be like ringside interviews. Some people are under the belief that it's going to be like some sort of post show that they do. There hasn't been 100% confirmation, but the commentary teams are officially changing. There's no confirmation that Wade Barrett is moving to SmackDown, which him and Joe Tessitore are great. So if they move to SmackDown, I'm totally cool with it. And then of course the ring announcers. So it's going to be really interesting to see how everything fully develops. And, you know, I'm obviously very excited for Raw on Netflix. It's going to be the biggest episode ever, literally ever. So definitely a lot to be excited about. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show.